What's up guys, Kyle here tuning in for another video. This time it was a bit of a rainy day, but I have a nice surprise for you. It's going to be a Convair CV240 lying about 300 meters off the shores of the Renaissance Island in Aruba. And this airplane is actually only at a depth of about 60 feet, and it stays about 60 feet the entire dive. I saw a ton of fish, a ton of life, a couple eels, and I want to give you a little bit of backstory about this airplane so you can see the cockpit right there. This airplane was captured in the 1980s during a drug seize, and this airplane was produced in the 1950s, actually, believe it or not. It looks pretty modern to me, so I was surprised when I found out of that detail. It was intentionally sunk in the 1980s to be an artificial reef, and in the year 1999, there was a hurricane which broke the airplane in two. This was Hurricane Lenny. And the cockpit is still intact, and some pieces of the fuselage are also intact, but you'll see throughout this video that the debris is kind of scattered, and it's really unfortunate because when you intentionally sink a plane or a boat, there are divers who want to do penetration dives on it, and it's just not possible on this wreck anymore. I was told by the dive instructor that no one's been penetrating this wreck for a while since it's dangerous, and you can see there, it looks almost tempting to pass through, but it's just not safe. I did go underneath the wing here, which was pretty cool. You can see my lights lighting up that red underneath the wing, and I actually made a big rookie mistake on this dive. I was wearing a shorty, which for those of you that don't know, it's a short wetsuit. It's 3 millimeters, but it only covers my body and my shoulders. It doesn't cover my forearms. And I'll show you the shot that I took through the window of this airplane. You can see the hollowed out engine there. But yeah, I put my camera through the window of the airplane to get a shot, and the swell pushed me forward. So I was going into the airplane, which I knew I wasn't supposed to do. So I put my forearm on the airplane, which was exposed, and unbeknownst to me, there was some fire coral actually on the side of that airplane. So my whole forearm was bright red when I came out of the water, and I immediately thought that I was stung by some kind of fish or jellyfish. I was tempted to signal to the dive master and let him know what had happened, but I decided to just power through the dive, get the footage, and not ruin everyone else's dive. And in hindsight, that was the right decision because I ended up being fine. My forearm is still red 3 weeks later. You can see the window there actually in this shot here that I am about to put my arm through, and my left forearm actually goes on the left side of that window. And it's hard to see, but there is some coral there. Those red patches are the patches of fire coral, and yeah, I'm not a familiar diver in tropical waters, and here in San Diego, I don't think we have fire coral. And if we do, we also wear really thick wetsuits, so it's not really an issue. Here you can see into the fuselage there. You can see there's holes in it, so it's really just not safe to penetrate this wreck, and that's about as far as I go into it. Still pretty cool to see, definitely worth it, even though I got stung by the fire coral. And coming up, you'll see the tail rudder of the plane. It actually it's been wearing a little groove into the back of the airplane wing, and it exposed that aluminum, which is pretty interesting just to see, the coral growth and then also the aluminum shining through with that tail rudder, going back and forth in the surge. So yeah, this was a really cool wreck. I loved diving it. Just be careful of that fire coral. And another great dive in Aruba. I was actually told the visibility wasn't that good on this dive, and I looked up some pictures online, and that is true. So even though the visibility is much, much better than it would be in San Diego, the visibility here is usually crystal clear. You can see the airplane, and sometimes you can even see the second airplane that is sunk maybe 100 meters away from this airplane, all in the same shot. Here there's an angelfish. You can see me getting a nice shot of him. They're absolutely beautiful fish. I really like the way that my lights light up the yellow in stark contrast to the black. And that's my dive buddy to the left of me. I forgot her name. I'm so sorry for forgetting your name, but you were great to dive with. She's a German lady. She's local to Aruba. She's been living there for about 20 years now. Aruba is a great place to retire. I really recommend it for people who are looking for a place to retire. If you can prove that you have enough income to sustain yourself, they accept pretty much anyone. So that's just a nice little fun fact I'll throw in there. I don't know the process, but everybody on the dive boat was talking about it and how much they loved being in Aruba for retirement. This video is about to end here. You can see just the wreckage, and that's what's left of the 1999 wreck. Hope you have a good one, guys.